Hey there, it's your MC operator here. How are you? Hope everybody's well and surviving this crazy pandemic. Um, be safe and do the right thing. Just take care of you and your family. Um, this is going to be a pretty fun series. If you are an accomplished shooter and long time gunny, this series will not be for you. This series came from a request of one of my subscribers, and also an amazing friend for decades. And she asked for a series of basics, due to the fact that she hasn't actually touched her firearm for decades, really, and so she wanted just some back to basics sort of series. So, Andy, this series is for you. So I thought about it, and obviously the first place we want to start is safety. As all these new purchasers of firearms, you have to understand you're dealing with a tool, but this tool is lethal. So we want to pay it respect at all times and never take it for granted. So with that being said, we'll start with the 4 rules of safety. Really there's 5, but 4 definite, and then the 5th is just common sense. So first and foremost, we want to treat all firearms as if they are loaded at all times. So we never play games with them. We never take it for granted that, oh, I'm sure I cleared that. We treat all firearms as if they are loaded at all times. Number 2, we never want to point our firearm, flag, sweep, anyone. So when we're actually, handling our firearm, we don't want to accidentally flag somebody with our movement. It kind of brings back to mind for me when you're learning how to drive, and you're sitting at 10 and 2, and somebody next to you, talks to you, and you turn that wheel because you're used to turning your arms with your body, or you go to check your blind spot and you turn that wheel. So with a firearm, we never want to flag anybody as they're talking to us or as you're sweeping. We want to always make sure that firearm is downrange and safe, and not pointing it in a safe direction. Third, we want to only put our finger on the trigger once we have our sights acquired, and that we know that target that we have our sights acquired on is actually what we want to put that cartridge downrange on. So always acquire your sights, make sure that is actually what you want to hit, and then we would actually insert what I would call actually the safety finger, and I'll get to that, into the trigger well. And fourth, make sure you qualify your target, but more importantly, what's in the background. We want to make sure that there's nothing in jeopardy in the background once we deploy that round downrange, that heaven forbid that we actually miss our target. We don't want to hit something that obviously we were not meaning to actually hit. So know your background as well as when you qualify your target. And the 5th is always make sure your firearms are secure. So obviously, if you have small children, we want to make sure it's in a locked container. If you don't have small children around your home and you do have firearms for your safety, if you have company coming over, be mindful of making sure they're secure before the company gets there. So always make sure that your firearms are secure, and especially if you're leaving the home. Obviously, if someone were to break in, you don't want to have a firearm able for them to acquire. So, so we'll go over them again for the safety fact. First of all, speaking of safety, we want to make sure that we are dealing with a safe firearm. So we have, and let's talk about nomenclature as well. So this is a magazine. Some people will errantly call it a clip, which is something that actually was really a nomenclature from the military. But these are magazines, not clips. So we want to make sure that our magazine has no ammunition. And just like when you're cleaning or doing anything in the house with your firearm, you want to make sure that the ammunition is in a safe place, in another room, so that way when you do go to clean your firearm, or if you're practicing your dry firing, make sure your live ammunition is in another safe area outside of the room you're working in. So we've checked the magazine, so there's no magazine in the firearm. We will lock back the slide. So obviously we are looking at the chamber to make sure there's nothing in the chamber. We don't see brass, so we're good there. You can even, when you take it down, rack it a couple times just to make sure that it's good to go. So now we'll reinsert the magazine, and now we're safe. So we also want to establish where downrange is safe. So obviously in your home, you want to make sure that you're not really pointing towards where your family is located if you're dry firing or practicing. So our safe direction is this direction here. So when I handle the firearm, I'll be pointing my firearm this direction here. And you'll notice, again, this is your safety finger, not the trigger finger. How about the safety finger? And for my safety finger, I don't feel it's in the right place unless it's down the side here, along the slide. And I don't do near the trigger well. I am actually high on the slide, knowing the fact that there's no way I can have an accidental discharge of my firearm. So safe, home, I'm good to go. So now when I actually present my firearm downrange, I'm going to acquire my target. Now I have my target and my sights are on my target, but I'm also looking at the background. So the background, there's nothing in danger in the background. So at this point I know I am safe to insert my safety finger into the trigger well, and I can deploy that firearm. Boom, back, back, safe, and down. So again, we're going to keep these videos short, and there'll be a series. So I'll just go over the 4 rules of safety one last time. Actually, we added 5 really. But again, we treat all firearms 24/7 as if they are loaded. I don't care how many times you've checked it. This is a loaded firearm. We will treat it with respect. Second, we want to make sure we do not muzzle or sweep anybody with our firearm, because of course we're treating it like it's loaded, and we don't want to accidentally put a round down range, injuring an innocent bystander, family. So again, we don't sweep our firearm to anyone. Third, we don't put our finger on the trigger until we have acquired our sights and we know that our target is covered with our sights. Then we'd insert the safety finger onto the trigger and deploy the round down range. Fourth, know your background. So once you have acquired your target, make sure that you also know what's behind it, so that just in case you miss your target, you're not going to accidentally injure or hurt someone that you don't mean to. So know your background. Even after you've established your target, make sure that your background is safe as well to deploy the round down range. And then the extra one, again, making sure that at all times that we are not dealing with our firearm, that they're in a safe, secure location. So we don't have small children, curious other humans who may not have the firearm knowledge that you possess. Someone by, chance breaking into your home when you're not at home. You don't want them to acquire your firearm and obviously have it head down the highway on you. So those things we want to really make sure that you cover all the time, 24/7. So again, we're going to keep the series sort of just short and to the bullet point. So I thank you for your time, and it's your MC Operator signing out.